thank you so much for joining me for Just Ask Jane. Today I wanted to talk to you about stuff that I read out on social media, and I gotta tell you, I'm not surprised. I was reading the news this morning on MSN when they had the story about this Christmas nightmarish type of figure called Krampus. And right away, this brought back such a memory for me because I remember going to my cousins as a child and being told by my uncle that if I didn't put my feet into bed and lay very still, that the Krampus would come and get me, grab me by my ankles and drag me into hell. And this is no word of a lie. All the kids were terrified of Krampus. And my uncle would go into the attic and make a lot of noise, and then he'd come down and he says, "You hear that? Do you hear that?" Well, of course we heard that. We were like pooping ourselves. We were so scared. But I'm telling you, when I got home and I told my mother that I didn't sleep a wink the whole weekend I was there, she asked me why. I said, "Well, I was afraid of Krampus." She goes, "What's that?" I said, "It's a big monster, Mom." I said, "And he's got these big horns this big, and he's got fingernails out to here. And when he grabs you by the ankles, he slices your ankles before he drags you into hell." She goes, "Oh my God, who told you that?" I said, "Uncle told me that." And he tells the kids that. The kids are so scared. When you go lay down, you cannot move an inch. Well, she laughed and she told me that was a pile of poop. And I was so glad that she did, but I learned not to trust my uncle. As much as I loved him, I grew up not trusting him. And this morning, this brought back so many memories for me that I put a post out on social media, kind of saying, geez, you know what? Like, isn't this crazy? People tell this to their kids, and you had to see the responses coming back. Oh my God. Like, if I don't eat the crust on my toast, something from hell's gonna come through the floors and suck you underneath the house. Or if I didn't do this or that, dead people would come from the other side and like grab your feet while you're sleeping. Oh my God. And I'm thinking, why do people tell this to their kids? Why would they want to instill fear? Is it because they just want to get their kids to bed and they don't want to bother with it? Like, honestly, don't tell that to your kids. Your kids trust you and they look up to you. And the thing is, when you tell them things like that, they learn to start being afraid of the unknown. And myself, being a gifted child, could you imagine if my mother would have put those thoughts into my head? I would have been afraid of absolutely everything I saw or heard or sensed or smelled. I'd have been terrified. In fact, you know, my mother did the opposite with me. She taught me to trust my gifts. She taught me to trust my instinct, to go with it. Why would you want your kids to believe in these terrible little Christmas evil, I don't know what? Why would you want your kids to believe that stuff? Oh my goodness. Tell them something else, but don't tell that stuff to your kids. You can tell them stories about it. Tell them it's a fable, or let them know that it's just all fairy tales that are a little evil. But don't tell them this stuff. It's not true, my God. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on out there that is. Don't scare them this way. We have a tough life out there with bullying and everything else that we're up against every day. Your kids don't need to be scared of things that don't exist. So do yourself a favor. Don't tell them that stuff. You don't want that to continue down into the lineage of your family. And you sure as heck want your kids to trust exactly what they're sensing and feeling. You don't want them to doubt their own instinctual feelings, you know, their own gut feelings. Anyways, I've said enough about that. I love you guys all so much. And to everybody who watches my videos here, you guys rock. And if you have a burning desire to ask me anything, please do. But I thought I'd share my little thoughts with you today, and I hope you don't mind. But I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you really soon. Bye-bye.